Hello and welcome to another High Rollers Campaign 2 teaser video, another character video. I am the Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes, don't copy me. Welcome to another video. Damn it, you threw me off. I'm joined by Kim Richards. Hello, Kim.
Hello.
Hello, and we're going to be talking about your character for Campaign 2.
My new character.
My new Campaign 2 for Aerois, the brand new campaign, which is coming to High Rollers. Don't forget you can check that out on July 1st. Over on the Yogscast Twitch and also on our own High Rollers D&D Twitch as well.
That now? No, we have announced that now.
Yeah,
that's announced.
That's all announced. And that's going to be in the description. You get links to everything in the description below. Make sure you go and check that out. Let's talk about your character, Kim.
She's called Nova.
And what race and class is she?
She is an Genasi?
Genasi. It's kind of like GIF.
Okay. Genasi. I like a hard
Sure.
G.
Hard G. You're a hard G, Kim.
Yeah, I know I am. Her full name is Nova Viger. Spot the reference. And she is an Air Genasi. She is a Hexblade Warlock, which I don't think people expected of me.
No, I saw a lot of people speculating on what you were going to play, and this was not one of them. Also, to point out, for those of you who are fans of Critical Role and things like that, Kim's never seen it. So she doesn't know that that's what Travis is playing. It's like she picked this completely independently.
Yep.
So I guess like what drew you, one of the first things is what drew you to playing a spellcaster, because you've not played a spellcaster really before. And obviously you've gone straight in for the Warlock. Why did you do that?
It's the easiest one. So I wanted to go away from martial arts and barbarian and kind of physical damage. I wanted, I've seen all the rest of the cast play these kind of spellcasters, and I was like, oh, I want to touch things. Pew, pew, pew. And then I got a copy of what was the last D&D book?
Xanathar's Guide.
Xanathar's Guide. And they had some really interesting subclasses for Warlock, like Hexblade. The other thing I was looking at was, I can't remember, it was
you were
like
looking
the
at
Grave.
Shadow Sorcerer. Oh,
yes.
So you looked at Shadow Sorcerer first, and then it was the Undying Pact for Warlock, and then you saw the Hexblade.
And I was eyeing up the Shadow Sorcerer for a while, especially for the little like pet thing you can summon. But then I looked at how to be a sorcerer and I was like, no, this isn't gonna happen, and Mark's gonna kill me within 3 episodes. And so I thought Warlock was a very good place for me to start, get my head around the basics. Okay. Yeah, but the thing is, Hexblade Warlock looks really like darknish in your appearance, and I've already done that for 2 years. So she's a very different one in that she's very bubbly, she's very studious. She's completely different to Juto, I'd like to think.
Yeah.
And I like the idea because to me, she's not a fighter. She's very sweet and very polite, and she will only ever fight to kind of defend herself. And if she does, she'll probably apologize for it. Be like, I'm really sorry, but you were trying to kill me. So like a part of that would be like hexing people and being like, you got a chance to get away. I hex you.
Yeah.
Run!
It's always a very fun character type to play. Like it's always fun to kind of go with the nicer character. There are things which will be revealed in the game of where that what the Hexblade is, because that's normally a pact with some sort of magical weapon or sentient weapon or something like that. So obviously that will get revealed in play. We don't want to give too much information out. Yeah. But what caused Nova to embark on a life and adventure? Because you said she's quite studious, she's not really much of a fighter, so what has kind of driven her to go out and do stuff? So
for me, I was really inspired by your creation of Aerois and how sci-fi it was, and the kind of idea of aliens and space travel, the idea of going to space. And like anyone who knows me knows I'm a massive sci-fi nerd. Love me some Star Trek and Alien and all of that, and real life scientists and NASA and stuff like that I love. I may or may not have rewatched the latest Ghostbusters when I was creating this as well, taking a look at Gillian Holtzman.
Yeah, there's a very strong visual aesthetic there.
So I've definitely gone for a very sciencey, like passionate about the stars, and her dream is she just wants to go to the stars and she wants to explore space. And also there's some interesting things that you wrote about Vortensar. I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about it
We'll
now.
talk a little bit about it. Yeah, we can talk about it. So the idea is that Vortensar is an Genasi city. And it was never originally on Aerois. Aerois is the world that it's called. There was a elven city that was experimenting with planar magic, something which had been forbidden by the gods. And in their process of experimenting, the elven city vanished one day, and instead a Genasi city called Vortensar appeared in its place. And brought many Genasi to the world of Aerois. And we'll go over this in like lore documents and stuff like that, but obviously that caused a little bit of strife and a bit of contention, but now the Genasi have been around long enough that they've integrated with the world of Aerois, and they've been involved in other matters that have kind of led them to be there as well. Speaking of Vortensar, you wrote quite a lot about it, because one of the things I wanted to do in this campaign is give the players an opportunity to write stuff, and obviously we talked a little bit about what I had envisioned and things like that, but now you've added quite a lot more detail.
Didn't I?
Yeah, you did. But how does all of that, does a lot of it connect to your character, or is it more just you wanting to fill things out?
I think so, because I think that, I don't know if I wrote way too much with Vortensar, if you read it and just went, what the hell have you done to my vision? But I think very much the reason she wants to go out into the world is to find anything alien and spacey and find a way to get back into space. And part of that, like, generally it's because she's so passionate about it, but part of that would be like wouldn't it be great if I could find the original city and find a way to get us back there? So
well,
I think,
and that ties into some lore I gave you, in that the younger generation of Genasi weren't around when these kind of like conflicts and things were around, and they've now started to question why the elders stopped researching planar magic. And you're kind of part of the generation of like, but why shouldn't we be looking into this? Why shouldn't we be doing this? And it's that curiosity-driven kind of character.
And
thing.
I've written a fair bit of that into my kind of vision of Vortensar now, of culture and society and stuff like that. But also I just had this really strong visual, actually inspired by Final Fantasy XIV, one of the newer cities they showed in Stormblood, and it was just these kind of idea of giant statues, like, you know, hovering, looming over the city with kind of water falling from their hands. And I just had this visual that, well, we've got 4 elements. Wouldn't it be amazing if we had 4 statues of the guardian of the elements, you know, all kind of interlocked, and that itself shapes the city and becomes its like traffic and roads and housing and all of this. So I think I just had this really strong visual idea. And I do think it's helped me kind of flesh out Nova a bit more, because it's made me think about, because she's such a home girl. This is a difference. She has a home in this one. And she has a family, and she has very strong ties. And so it helped me flesh out, well, where would she hang out? Where would she live? What would her family be doing? So I think in both ways, doing one and the other has helped me flesh out ideas for both, if that makes sense.
No, it does absolutely make sense. So do you think that that's going to be the biggest surprise for people that watched Juto in Campaign 1 and now are going to see you in Nova in Campaign 2? Do you think that idea of her being very friendly, very bubbly, very, you know, has her home, has her family, do you think that's going to be the biggest contrast between Juto that people might see?
I hope so. I hope that, I mean, my thing was, I love Juto, you know, she will always be, I think, my favourite, but I wanted to play something very different because I'm done with being serious, dark, emo child. I wanted to play something quite sweet, quite naive, but very passionate and very educated. But the difference is that she's incredibly educated but naive in the world, so I always imagine that when she meets people, like another race or something that she's just read about in a book, she's gonna be like, oh my god, you're a high elf, you know, and just vomit out some elvish language that she's probably gotten wrong because she's just read it in a textbook.
So she's got high intelligence, but kind of not the best wisdom score necessarily, or best charisma necessarily.
Not the best social skills.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing,
Because she's just so enthusiastic, you just kind of want her to shut up a little bit.
Nice. No, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's it for hearing all about Nova. We'll hear about some other characters in other videos, and you can check out more of Nova and her antics in the brand new High Rollers campaign, Aerois, which is our campaign 2. Don't forget you can check that out on July 1st over on twitch.tv/Yogscast or twitch.tv/HighRollersDND. You can check that out and stop copying me.
It's really fun.
And there's loads of stuff. You can check that out. Check out the Twitter and all that good stuff as well. And we'll see you for more videos leading up to Campaign 2.